Welcome to Quickshots.
Welcome to Quickshots with your favourite cousins, James and Alex Fitzgerald. We take your questions. We love getting them on the email, the socials. Send them through however you like. Going to start this one for you, Alex, from Matt. Matt wants to know, why do Australians predominantly sign 12-month leases and no longer?
That's a good question. I think we're just used to it. You can actually sign up to 5-year leases. Depends on the state. Some states don't let you.
Yes.
But typically, I guess you'd sign 12 months, maybe 24 months. From a landlord perspective, I guess sometimes you don't want to be locked in case you can bump up the rent. Or as a tenant, you don't want to be locked in more than 12 months because maybe you don't want to live there or whatnot. But I think because I don't have any leases longer than 12 months. I've got a 6-month lease at the moment.
Yep.
But I recall you locking in a couple of 24-month leases in Victoria.
Yeah, I've done that. I think I've done it in Queensland as well. Not at the moment, but 24-month lease. I mean, the benefit is that you either don't have a rent increase after year one or you have a predetermined rent increase. I think, put it this way, I think it is a very good thing if they become more commonplace. It's a great way to protect the tenant from obviously increasing interest rates, increasing rents, sorry. It's also a way to safeguard the property investor as well because, for most property investors, to get the extra $50 a week or, let's use that as an example of an increase, if you've got the property vacant for a week, it defeats the purpose anyway. So to give property investors the certainty, I reckon Matt's on a really great idea there. They should become more common. It might be a great way to benefit the landlord and the tenant, giving the certainty as a trade-off for the rent increases. Yeah, good one.
I think if you're asking from the perspective of a tenant, Matt, ask if you can sign 24 months.
Absolutely.
There'll probably be a lot of landlords out there who will say, hell yeah, let's do it. There's no reason, Matt. You just got to ask the question. Okay, we're just stuck in a vortex on that one, I guess. This one's from Alana. James, I'm wondering whether I get into my second investment property or is it better time to get my own property first? And I'm assuming she means owner occupier. Something for Alana to live in.
Yeah. It's a tough one without knowing, the full picture, I guess. But I'm always an advocate for buying your own home. It's the only way that you can make money in Australia and not pay tax. Literally, there is no other way that's legal. So, I'm always a fan of it, Alana. I guess, the thing about property full stop is the costs of getting in and out are high. So just make sure you can see yourself there for at least 5 years as a sort of rule of thumb. I think that means that, the stamp duty and all the other costs that might be involved become worth it. But yeah, I think if provided you can do that, I'd be getting your own place.
Agree. 100%.
Over to you here. I'll go with Diane. Should we fix our interest rates or leave them as variable today?
Oh, everyone asks this question. There's become some really good fixed rates of late, which is an interesting view of where the economy might be headed because banks sort of try to guesstimate where the economy is going. So it used to be, that they would let you fix in lower than your variable rate because, they might have been forecasting that rates were actually going to go even lower than that. So they were hedging their bets on you paying a bit more than what you might be variable. Today, it's interesting. You can fix around 5.5%, where variable is probably about 5.5% to 6%. So what I would say, Diane, is do your numbers. What do you want to do long term? Fixing does sort of sometimes fix your ability to be able to borrow again, take equity out of that property, move it around, change banks, refinance. So you just got to do the numbers on how long you can fix at that rate and how that works for you on a cash flow. And that's for your own home as well. But it does sort of leave you in a little bit less flexible.
It's a tough one because we have the benefit of seeing that a lot of people listen to our quick shots many months after we've recorded. So it is, I feel like we need to put the caveat that remember, we recorded this at the end of May 2023. I think interest rates are always a gamble when you're determining to fix, right? You're getting the certainty and you're taking a punt Really, there's it's like gambling, to be honest. But,
yeah.
I'm seeing particularly a lot of people at the moment go for like a 2-year fixed rate in the 4s. And that's attractive because it pretty much means your rent covers your interest. So if that's good enough for you, then that's the great thing about fixed rates. It gives you certainty.
I agree. And don't guess, like it's not necessarily about, forecasting where rates are going to be in 6 to 12 months. It's you working out how that's going to save you money. And also if it's a rental property, how much, you're making on that is it cash flow negative, positive? How much does it affect you? Do your numbers on the acquisition, not the actual guessing of where rates are going to be. I just realized that wraps us up. We've done 3 questions.
Yeah, you did really well. You did 2 and would have given you a BAFTA for those. That's how good you were today. Okay, thank you, everyone. Send in your questions if you've got them. We'll see you next week.
A Baffle On award at the BAFTAs.
You would own that award.
There'd be really no competition. There'd be complaints. I'd be winning it every year.
Named after you.
The Baffling Alex award goes to Baffling Alex. Thanks for listening to another episode of The Double Shot with your favourite cousins, Alex and James Fitzgerald. If you've got a burning question or something we absolutely need to talk about on the pod, please write to us. Both of our emails are in the show notes. For little real estate tidbits and a little bit of banter, a lot of banter, you can follow us on the gram. Our handle is thedoubleshot.podcast. That, my friends, is thedoubleshot.podcast. Until next time, think of us when you sit back and sip your next double shot.